Ooh, almost slipped. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and we've got our first update with the quote-unquote Homestead stuff. We're going to be doing quite a few things in today's video, and so with that being said, let's just get right into it. So I guess we'll start things off by going over the namesake of the video, and that is the Lamborghini of axes. So I got a bunch of Gränsfors Bruck axes, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, Swedish company that produces axes. Funny thing is the handle is actually, I think Kentucky hickory, a special species that's super hard. But anyways, these are supposed to be like the best axes you can buy. They're expensive. I got 3 axes and all together it's like over $700, but let's see how they perform. Okay, so the first test is going to be with the smaller axe. It's the forest axe, and I'm going to be cutting some branches off of this peach tree. You guys can see that they completely snapped. If you guys live in Utah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This year, like, everyone's peach trees broke because there were so many peaches. So we're gonna have to take care of that. Obviously, this is probably going to mean that we're not gonna get peaches for quite some time because the tree's gonna go into shock, but I figured that better to do it now rather than later, kind of fix things up with that. And then the other thing is this tree right here. So it is a pear tree, and I'm completely going to be cutting it down, so I'll be using the felling axe on this. The reason I'm cutting this tree down is you guys can see on these leaves right here, it has a rust fungus and it has infected the entire tree. You can remedy rust fungus from what I looked at, but like this tree is so far gone that it's better to just kind of start over, clean slate, and so that's what we're going to be doing. So that's the first branch down, and let me tell you, that small forest axe definitely hits well above its pay grade. And I mean, look how clean the cut is here with this. I mean, you can still tell that it was done by an axe, but it's just so impressive to me, like how precise you can be with these axes. Again, I've only used it a little bit so far, but I know I've personally been super impressed. So this right here shows just how bad it is. You guys can see this limb just tracks straight down without any of the supports that it had. And then you can see this one, it's okay, but still gonna get rid of it just so the tree can start over. Almost slipped. Well, my cuts weren't as clean on these ones because I was literally cutting into the sun. The sun's like right there, for those of you that are wondering. So it's kind of hard to see where I was hitting. But, you know, still got it done. So I'll be completely honest, I'm not too hopeful for the survival of this tree. You can see that there's basically like nothing left on this side. There's like this little branch right here. There is quite a bit left on the other side, but I did have to prune quite a bit of it because it was just pulling so hard. I mean, you can see this limb right here. It's, I don't know if it's going to pop up on camera, starting to snap. Now it does have the support of the fence, so that is a plus. But yeah, I mean, we'll see if this tree survives or not. I guess we'll cross our fingers. At the same time, though, this tree came with the house. This is not something that we've planted. And so for the tree to get to this state, I mean, it probably took at least 5 to 10 years of it not being properly pruned and all that kind of stuff for it to basically spread out the way that it did, to where, you know, when you have a lot of water, everything's just going to snap. But the apple tree right next to it, as you can see, it's getting a little bit too tall, but this tree is definitely like a lot better with how it's kind of going straight up instead of spreading out all over the place. Now, before we go and cut down the diseased pear tree, aka the dramatic finale for today's video, I'll give you guys some other updates about what's happening here. So you guys will notice that we have the chickens in chicken prison, is what I'll call it. Normally I have them free ranging, but some of them have started to lay, and they initially laid them in the coop where they're supposed to, and now all of a sudden there are no more eggs in the coop, which tells me they're laying them throughout the yard. So I'm going to keep them in the coop for the next few days just so that they can remember where they're supposed to lay eggs. And then, you know, once they get back to laying in here, then I'll let them out again. Now, the next little thing is this pine tree right here. I actually need your guys' advice in the comment section below. This is right next to the fence, which is not good because this is one of those things right there. You can see it's absolutely massive. So if it stays here, it's going to completely destroy the fence. So if you guys have advice on how to move this without killing it, like if you're able to do it by yourself or do I have to hire someone with a machine to do it, let me know in the comment section below. The next thing is this area that I'm standing in right here, which is kind of on the corner. There is this area right here that could be a pretty good path to go from that part of the yard all the way over to where the chicken coop is. But it's blocked by some of these tree limbs. So what I'm going to be working on is chopping some of these tree limbs so then it's easier to kind of just literally just in between those two trees right here. And then I might look at cleaning up this area right here so that it's less, I guess, mice territory and more walking territory. Now the update that I am currently the most proud of is this area right here, and I know it might not look like much because it's just some dirt, but it's dirt trails. So basically we have this trail right here, it goes along the side, and then I dug out this here so you can connect to the secondary trail. So I know this is not super exciting, but basically you walk through here. So we're gonna have like garden stuff in between the two trails so you can kind of walk around it, which I think is pretty fun. And then I cut out, man, this is a lot of walking actually, another trail that kind of goes around here, loops through, and this goes to this area right here. Now, this is probably gonna look weird to some of you, but these are blueberry plants, and they do horrible here in Utah because we're such a dry climate. Now, what I am trying out, and I don't know what I'm doing whatsoever, you got to remember that that's about this channel, is like I don't know what I'm doing, is I've basically built this so that when I water them, the water pulls up below the blueberry plants, so then the soil gets super saturated, and hopefully they'll survive. You can see that this one, not too happy. That one actually has a lot of new growth, and then that one on the end, not happy at all. And so if they all end up dying, then I guess that all of this work will be for no reason, but it was still fun to do. Now the last update right here is this path that goes to the air conditioning unit. So it's completely overgrown with ivy, and this tree was like here, so there's no way of accessing it. And we actually don't use the air conditioning unit because we have mini splits, but I still figure it's good to have access to it. So I cleared out all this, and this little path right here that's probably like, what, maybe 12 feet in length, took like 30 plus minutes. So I have so much respect for people that live in areas where there's lots of growth because it took forever to get this stuff out. Now again, I obviously have a lot more to learn when it comes to cutting down trees, but I chopped it in just the right way to where, you know, pushing it down, I was able to get it completely separated. So pretty clean cut there, not too bad. Well, I now obviously have all this tree stuff to haul off. And so with that being said, that's going to sum things up for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one.